What's up, fam? Mr. Cut the CEO back in the house again, man. Look, more game, and more game. That's right. Welcome back to the channel, subscribers, family, and friends. Man, look, we are on day 5 of the good about the dump truck business. Man, look, I've been talking to you about dump truck business, a networking gold mine where you can partner with people, right? A multiplicity of people. You'll meet from all walks of life, man, that will pay dividends. Watch this. Here's a nugget. I didn't even mention this in the last video. Not just in the dump truck business, but being able to partner in other things too. You'll find that in dealing with these contractors and guys, the people that work for them and that kind of thing, man, them guys will pull you into other things that they have going on that they ain't got nothing to do with that company. So I forgot to mention that. We also talk about this is the freedom business. You want to be able to start a business, get into the dump truck business. One of the good things is that you can work toward being free to live your life on your terms. And I know that rings a bell with a lot of people, living life on your terms. Second thing we talked about was one dump truck could change your year, right? One dump truck could change your year. We talked about the kind of money you can make, that kind of thing. And I'm here to tell you it can happen. And then the first thing we talked about, there's hidden gold in dirt, right? Dirt is your cheapest resource, probably an aggregate that we haul, but it has a high profit margin because it's such a cheap thing, right? And so today I want to talk about on this last good video, the pride of ownership, man. Listen, being able to, own your own business and there's a certain pride that comes with that. Not a pride in the sense of having the big head or an ego or narcissistic or anything of that nature, but the pride of just, like you say, being able to be your own boss, own your own business, that kind of thing. There's a certain pride that goes along with that. All right. And so I want to talk about that today. 3 things about this pride of ownership piece, right? The first thing is you own a real asset. You own a real asset, man. That's an exciting thing. What is an asset? An asset is something that does what? Makes money, right? An asset makes money, right? Your truck is equity, not just equipment. Oh my goodness. If anything that has equity is something that has value, right? So your truck has value. It's not just a piece of equipment, but it's something that has value, and it has value. Why? Because it's something that can actually make money. And so please take note of that. That's an awesome thing. All right. So not only do you own an asset, and that should give you great pride, but number 2, you provide real value. Every day your truck solves someone's problem. Oh my goodness, that just sounds good. Oh my goodness, I like the way that sounds. Every day your truck solves somebody's problem. They got to move material from one part of town to the other. They got to bring this asphalt out on the road. They got to take this truck dirt to this house pad so that house can get built. Every day, ladies and gentlemen, you provide value because you solve people's problems. I think it was Myron Golden or somebody I watch and listen to. I think it was Myron Golden that, you are able to solve people's problems. You will never be without $1 in your pocket, right? And so with a dump truck, you solve somebody's problem, okay? All right. The last thing is that number 3, you build a legacy. A fleet can outlive you and bless your family. Oh my goodness. The pride of ownership. You build a legacy. Your fleet, can outlive you and bless your family. There's 3, 4, 5 generations, man, out here in this dump truck business. I'm a first generation, but there's at least a couple guys that I know, a second generation, several more that I know, a third generation dump truck business owners. And so this is something that can be a blessing by way of income and revenue for your family, that your son or daughter can take over and keep it going, your wife, whoever, right? but it can build a legacy with this business that can that'll have blessings still flowing long after you're gone, right? I know we don't all the time like to think about the fact that we do have to leave here one day, but the fact of the matter is that's a reality, right? All right, and so I don't know what's going on with my internet, but don't need it for what I'm doing right here. All right, but here's the application of all what I'm saying about this pride of ownership thing. Let me recap that. You own a real asset, you provide real value, you build a legacy. Here's the application and what's something I want you to do. Write down 3 reasons you want to own your first truck or your next truck, right? Write down 3 reasons why you want to own your first truck, or if you already got a truck or 2 or 3, whatever, your next truck, right? All right. And so the last thing is, look, stick with the channel, subscribe, set your notifications. Man, listen, this is some good stuff. I'm enjoying this series here so far, giving the good, but I got to keep it real and start next week on giving you the bad, because there's a good and a bad. There's a pro and a con to everything. Watch this. Something that I always talk about, that what was good for me might not be good for you. What was bad for me might not be good for you. What's ugly for me might not be ugly for you. That's why I'm always cautious. And you've heard me speak out against people on social media and or wherever talking that yak about the dump truck business, ain't this and ain't that. Hey, brother, sister, it might have not worked out for you. I get it. You know, whether it be some bad circumstances, some unforeseen circumstances, or you simply couldn't manage, whatever. I do understand that it wasn't what you thought it was going to be. It ain't for everybody. That's true. Just like everything else, just like other businesses in this world, everything ain't for everybody. But we acknowledge the fact that there's a pro and a con. What I accentuate the positive is, as long as the positive, I weigh the negative. As long as the pro, I weigh the con. As long as the good, I weigh the bad. And that's what has happened for me in 25 years of dump trucking, is that the good has outweighed the bad, right? And so each one of you that are listening to this video, you have to examine and evaluate your own situation and determine what's best and what's good for you. My job is to only provide the information. You take the information, process it, apply it to your situation, and see how God leads you as relates to you moving forward in this dump truck business. Got some inspiration for you before I go. Build something your children can point to and say, they did that. Build something your children can point to and say, they did that. Country CEO, man, hit the like, subscribe, notification bell. Stay tuned for next week. We're going to talk about the bad. Y'all don't want to miss that. I'm gone.